Hey everyone, so I wanted to show you the first step to our project. Remember I did say it is kind of a longer project, so you're going to need it's going to be a couple weeks I think, but let's get started. So I just need you to get a plain piece of paper. If it's lined, that's okay, it's not a big deal. But first things first is we're going to draw a really big circle in the middle, okay? So don't worry about it not being like the most circular circle or anything. Just make sure it's nice and big, okay? Alright, so we have one big circle on here. Remember to draw it just kind of light, just so you're able to erase it, because we are overlapping. So we need to make sure that we're drawing nice and light. So we're going to overlap one circle over here. And remember, just focus on making it nice and big. Even if you make a mistake, get your eraser, erase it, and move on. Okay? Alright, so I have two circles right here. I want this one in front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase everything from this circle, everything inside this circle that I want in front. So remember, that's how we overlap. Okay, so now this circle is in front, and that's exactly what I wanted. Okay, now if you want to draw it a little darker, just because we have the overlap already, I can do that so you can see it just a little better. So you can go over it just a little bit darker. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to do the next side. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to draw a nice big circle. And I definitely want it to overlap. Again, if you make a mistake, it's not a big deal. You should have an eraser. So I kind of made a funny looking circle. So I'm going to go ahead and erase it. And fix it. Again, mistakes are not you failing, it's you learning. Okay, so that's kind of the best I can do with my circle right now. And again, it's not a big deal if it's not the most perfect circle. Okay, so again, I want this circle in front and this circle in back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase this part. Okay, so I'm going to erase this part. And again, that's one of the biggest things why you should draw nice and light. So after I have all my circles exactly where I want them, I'm going to draw them just a little bit darker so you guys can see them, because I can see that it's too light. So I'm going to go over my circles just a little bit darker. And you don't have to do this unless you really want to. Okay, so now I should have my middle circle in front and then my two circles on the side in back. Okay, so this should be on top of these two circles. It should be overlapped. All right, so the next step is that we're going to draw a smaller circle in the middle right here. I'm going to take my finger. I'm going to measure about how wide I want it, about that wide, okay? Now I'm going to do my best, and I want you guys to do your best too, to make just a slightly smaller circle inside. Okay, I know this can be hard. Draw nice and light, and if you make a mistake, you should have your eraser handy, okay? All right, so I have a smaller circle inside. So I did one, I'm going to do two, and again I can measure it with my finger to make sure that it's the width I want. Here's my second one. I'm going to do number 3 right in here. And number 4, really small circle right in here, okay? So you should have 4 lines. If you make a mistake like I did right here, again, you can just erase it. Have your eraser handy. If you have a nice big eraser like mine, that works too. If you have one on top of your pencil, that works too, okay? So now that I have my circles inside my middle circle, I'm going to work on these two circles. So I'm going to flip my paper, okay? Since I can't see all of my circle, I'm going to kind of pretend that all I have is this. So it kind of looks like a rainbow shape if you see that. If you trace it with your finger, it's almost like a rainbow shape. So that's how I'm going to treat it. Again, you can use your finger to guide yourself. And just like we did in the middle circle, we're going to draw 4 lines. Now you see how I just did a rainbow shape. I didn't do the whole circle. Why? Because this circle is on top, remember. So this circle is on top of this one. Imagine putting your hand over a circle, right? You can't really see the whole circle, so you shouldn't be able to see all of the lines. Then 1, 2, 3, and last one, 4. Again, it's like a rainbow shape, okay? Next, I'm gonna flip my paper over one more time, and I'm gonna do the exact same thing I did here. Remember, it's like a rainbow shape, using your finger as your guide to see how big you should have it, and just make your rainbow shape. You're gonna make 4, remember, 1, 2, 3, and 4, okay? So your paper should kind of look like this. You should have 3 circles, 1 overlapped on top of these 2, but they should all have 4 circles inside. So let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so that's what your drawing should look like. Now you have the option of outlining it with marker or with a pen. I didn't, but I can outline a little bit of it. Next step I want you to do is I want you to color it, okay? So here's kind of a finished product for me. I'm going to upload a video of me coloring it really fast. Obviously I didn't go that fast, but just so you see. And again, if you have a marker, or let me find a bigger one here, or a pen that you'd like to use to outline, that works too. Remember, outlining is just pretty much drawing it all over again. So if you want to color it and then outline it, that's fine. If you want to outline it then color it, that's fine too. I'm just going to outline one so you guys see what I mean. And remember, your paper doesn't have to stay in one place. You can rotate your paper if you need to. Probably for this project you're going to need to rotate it just like I did when I drew it. And while I'm outlining it and coloring it, I rotated it too. So don't be afraid to move your paper around. Okay, so if you want to outline it, I think it looks really nice outlined. And it'll just kind of give you more clear lines on where everything is. And it'll look a little more clear once we move on. So a pen is fine, just make sure it's a black pen. You can probably just ask your parents for one. Remember that we're not writing on our hands, we're not writing on our clothes, we're not writing on each other. So you can outline it, okay? All right, good luck.